Massey Ferguson, with the gold wheels and a mighty grin, will always be right there to lend a hand. If you see him passing by the road, tip your hat and say hello to the greatest little tractor in the land. One fine spring morning, Massey and his friends were busy with taking goods to the shops in Market and Kingston. Massey, however, was feeling like another drive. He remembered Tom telling him he was to visit a village in Tulla, where an engine named Wee Georgia Wood lived. "I'm liking to see the village," said Massey. "Tom has been there, but not me." He hoped Max wouldn't listen. He didn't want to get blamed again for something wrong he didn't do. But one morning, Tom came to the shed. He could see Massey wanted to see Tulla. "I've got a bag of coal to give him today," he told him. "If you take it instead of me, I'll do your goods delivery." "Thank you, Tom," said Massey. "That will be nice." So he took the bag of coal instead of Tom. With a silent cheer, he set off on the long journey to find Tulla. As he left the farm, he remembered Fee telling him he and his friends had to go back to New Zealand, for this is the last day on Tasman's shore. Max and Gracie would be finding him as soon as they'd finished work. "I wonder if they would find where I meet Wee Georgia Wood," he asked himself. "I told Tom to tell them I just left to visit the other village." He was soon on the highway and went heading to where he and Gracie had crossed the river bridge the days before. There was a crossway as he arrived at the side of the bridge. One went to the right and the other to the left. "I'll go this way. That's where Tulla will come. But there's a few places to pass through." It was another road trip that reminded him about when he left Ferguson Farm. This road was to take him to Queenstown. He started following it. First, he went through 2 towns. One was Linda. The second was Gormanston. While he drove on the journey, he didn't notice who was following him. Max and Gracie had finished and were following far behind. Miles later, Massey came to a hill where the road went up. It had a track with it where some day ago Mater and Lightning almost had a hit from Wee Georgie heading home. He climbed up the slope and went down the other side. Queenstown lay in sight of his headlights. "Aha! This is so awesome," said Massey. "A full visit to Queenstown is what I never thought to do after years in New Zealand. What's more, there's a steam train that runs on a middle line." He had a look at the railway for a minute to find who lived in it. Caldy was the first engine to meet him. "Hello. I don't believe we met before," said he. "Good day. I'm Massey. I'm sort of heading home to New Zealand after dropping off this bag of coal," said Massey. "Nice to meet you," said Caldy. "Thomas visited me this morning. He told me lots about your adventures in that country. And probably the beach will be glad to be covered in tie prints again. I must go now." Massey set off again. No sooner had he left, Max and Gracie appeared. "Hello there. Have you seen Massey by any chance?" said Gracie. "Yes, I have. He just left a minute ago," said Caldy. "He's got some coal to deliver." "Thanks, mate," said Max. "We like to chat about this village not visited from us, but we have to keep up with the schedule." And he and Gracie left. Massey had been driving for hours till it was the afternoon. He went over another bridge, past a field where Mater did his tractor tipping game on Terence the tractor. Terence was taking down a tree. "Hello, I'm Massey. Do you need help with that tree?" "No, thanks. I'm finished with it. I'm heading to Tala to drop off this bag. See you later." Massey came to a sign at a junction after last mile. "Tala must be that way. I'll find wee George at work. Cool, this is exciting for me to find." He arrived in the railway yard and could see wee Georgie taking a drink from the water tower after his branch line run. "Good day, wee Georgie. Remember me that helped you in gum leaves?" said Massey. "Hello, Massey. I thought Tom would invite you to visit my line," said wee Georgie. "Have you brought my coal?" "I have," said Massey. "So this is where you live and work, with only one coach," he went on, looking round. "I not only do the coach run," wee Georgie put in, "I take trucks for the goods that comes from Devonport. I can go anywhere apart from Farrell Siding. That's lucky for you." Massey looked ahead away from the railway yard, noticing a pair of pointy mountains. He didn't know anything about its presence, as he never explored it for 8 days. What lies over there? He asked wee Georgie. That? Oh, that's Cadle Mountain. It's got a lake in the middle part, said wee Georgie. Twilight and the friends visited for cool swim when the weather's hot. And what's inside the forest? There's a line going in it, Massey said, noticing a route he never saw. Inside the wood comes the Tunnel of Adventures, said wee Georgie. It's easy for me to visit far places. However, you're welcome to it because you might be heading home to New Zealand. Oh, great. It too is better than taking a boat. Whilst they were talking, Max and Gracie caught up. Oh, hello, Max, Gracie. Tom did tell you I would visit Tala, said Massey, looking up. Yes, he has, Massey. We followed you all the way to get here, said Gracie. And that must be wee Georgie Wood you're talking to, said Max. I remember helping him back on the line. So you're heading home to New Zealand as well, said wee Georgie. You'll need a rest before heading for that tunnel. It's a quick way to get to Auckland, but it's a long drive to what farm you live in. I don't think you've seen it, said Massey. We come from Ferguson Farm, where I left last night to visit Masterton after going along the hills, Glenbrook and Matamata. I followed him, but didn't notice Max following the both of us, said Gracie. We could do the rest before heading home. So they did, and a conversation was on the roll. Massey and Gracie told wee Georgie about how they helped a boat stuck in the beach sand. So did Max with ploughing a field. Wee Georgie told them about his time of the past and today. Did you had a sad day in the New Year's? Asked Max. Oh yes. It's very painful too, said wee Georgie. When I was mended, I had wee Mary's parts given to me. She wasn't really lucky to live on in the 2000s. It's not really nice to talk about, and I missed her quite a lot till I got over the loss. Tom also told me you broke down in 2010, and you were in pieces, said Massey. I haven't heard about it. I had months of waiting till 2013 I was in steam again. Talking of which, I remember seeing an engine in your country which had no side tank. So did we. It exploded, so it's in construction. And my, it was a sad sight. We hope it can get rebuilt in one piece again. Me too. When the talk was finished, it was time for them to go. We hope to visit again, we Georgie. Thanks for the get-together. Goodbye then, new friend. Your history was great to learn from. Off you go, the thief, you. I'll visit the farm someday, if I find the time. The machines left the railway yard and went into the wood. They found the tunnel waiting out of sight from anyone. Massey went through, so did Gracie and Max. Just as they expected, found they were back in the Countdown car park in Masterton. Massey led the way out back to Ferguson Farm, and there, waiting for them, was me. "How is Tasman Sodor?" said me. "It was great, Mr. Model Writer. We hope to visit it again," said Massey. "I'm about to head to the airport, so I'll say goodbye to you." After we said goodbye to each other, Massey and his friends went driving all the way home. They came to Matter through the town, past Glenbrook Station, through the hills, then, after a long drive, came home to Ferguson Farm. Mrs. Milk and Bute were not home yet. They were still at work. "It's good to be home again," said Massey. "We've got quite a story to tell our friends." "We've got Clammy, don't forget. He lives here too," said Gracie. "I'd like to meet him one day," said Max. "I wonder if the model writer's going to write stories about us visiting his country." "He might be doing it now. He's wanting to make a series in a model style. Good night. It's getting dark outside." They settled down to sleep, pleased with their successful holiday. Watching meters away from the farm, a tall figure was listening to what Massey and his friends were saying. He smiled and left. "I'm glad they can get a gigantic chance of visiting Tasmania." Massey Ferguson, with the gold wheels and a mighty grin, will always be right there to lend a hand. If you see him passing by the road, tip your hat and say hello to the greatest little tractor in the land.